Top of the morning, Bay, with Good Morning Bay.
Get to know about the traffic on your way and what's news around the world today.
Some wisdom skills along the way.
Oh, and a song to hum along with and sway.
Get your perfect entertaining start to the day.
At 9 a.m. every weekday morning with
Mahima's
Good Morning Bay.
Good morning, Bay. आप सभी लोग हमारी तरफ से एक प्यार भरा नमस्ते,
नमस्कार.
वनकम,
नमस्कार.
खुशामदीद,
अस्सलाम वालेकुम.
सत श्री अकाल,
मेघांतरिकी वंदनम.
जय स्वामी नारायण,
जय श्री कृष्ण.
जय जिनेंद्र.
हमारे इस्माइली भाई बंधुओं को बोलते हैं याली मदद.
मौला अली मदद बोलते हुए सारे फीजी मतलब बोलेंगे नीसा बोला बरजान. हम आ गए हैं आपके प्यारे महिमा के द्वारे. मैं सवाल तो बाबा.
And of course, myself, Faltu Rani, लेकर आपके लिए एक और drive time that's gonna make it totally exciting and totally मस्तानी बंद जाने.
यकीन नहीं आ रहा बरजान, बस एक बात सुन लो, बार बार आओगे. हाँ, ये हमारा वादा है बरजान. And yes, अगर वादा पूरा नहीं होता, बस come back again, we'll tell you more about that. मैं बजाय भी tell you आज 324th day. Oh my God, Fatoni, can you imagine? It comes once in every 1,000 years.
We are getting what?
Yeah.
324 days comes once in every 1,000 years. What?
1,000 days.
Huh?
Yeah.
What? Please explain. I am not even going to attempt.
324 comes once in every 1,000 days. Haven't you seen those memes? You'll keep forwarding like random stuff.
No,
like,
I don't forward any random.
2021. They're like, oh wow, really?
I don't forward any memes, Altu
Excuse
Baba.
me.
Thank you very much.
That's true.
Early
She has
in the
learned
morning,
it.
he's like,
She has learned it from me that you should not be forwarding those kind of memes. So
I don't even read those memes.
I would suggest if you want to say something to your friends, say something. Like, I mean, that's enough. You don't have to forward if somebody else forwarded. Like, you know, because we'd have had 10,000 forwards of the same thing. Yeah, that's I think is virality of thing, right? Internet, right? Yeah, but anyway, but leave that aside. We're talking about what's happening over here right now, and let's take a quick look at what's happening in the roads. Banjan रास्ते का हाल आपको देंगे हम लोग एकदम total सस्ते रेट.
It's time for the Bandu Traffic Update. Call us from wherever you are at 408-912-2479.
408-912-2479. Banjan, of course, you guys know that we still have the purple tier going on in our Santa Clara County. I hope you guys are aware of that. And recently, Banjan, there was a note about the fact that, in fact, yesterday I was so happy to share with you guys that the rate of increase of positive cases has dropped.
Huh?
Yeah, but somebody is going to throw a wrench at it right now.
Who's going to throw
Berkeley mathematicians have thrown a wrench at this particular concept of the rate of increase dropping.
Huh.
Because they come back and said right now, Falcon, it's not been published as yet, but they only shared with NPR for some time, I suppose. They just the results what they talked about. They are claiming, it's the rate of increase of cases are new cases of COVID, right? This is based on what people are reporting that they're sick. Right? They go to the hospital, they get tested, blah, blah, blah. So what they found out is 1 out of 4 people are the only people who report that they actually are fallen sick.
Oh, wow. That's all?
That's 1 out of 4 only get reported.
These reports, so you're saying the numbers that we're getting are only people who go to the hospital?
Or get at a medical center, whatever it is.
Or who get tested positive.
Tested, yes.
Okay.
Because many people are quarantining at home in the season. That also is there. And of course, they are testing because there are many kids also out there, right? So this particular, this has not been public, but it has been public. Results have been made public with the public radios over here. But hence we're sharing this with you. So that means it throws a huge wrench at the positive note which I gave out to people yesterday, saying that the rate of increase of the positive cases has dropped to 0.4 in California.
Wow.
That means the claiming is in California we have around 13,000 new cases every day. So if going by this particular study and trying to see, because everything is of statistics, I thought, if we just started to do the data part of it, right, it means that actually there are 52,000 people new cases coming up every day. That's the shocking part of it, and so what people are now. Are they going to adopt that to the new assessment? I have no idea, but we'll definitely keep a track on that thing and share with you guys for sure. But for now, all I know is we are still in the purple tier. I'm talking about Santa Clara County. So please, agar business khula hai to khula rehne do, let them. But you also got to make sure you're safe. That's very important, Burjan. Now, many offices also are opening up partially for people to come in and work at different times. That's commendable and nice, giving putting the priorities on the health of the employee first. That's one thing good. People are spending more time at home. That also is very good, actually. That kind of tells on the roads also, because the traffic are pretty much open on the freeway. There are a few accidents which are causing a little bit of backups in different places. Like in Union City, actually, there's an accident on 880 northbound near Whipple Road, Faltwani. It actually is center divided. So like 2-3 exits behind, totally backed up.
Wow.
Samato Bridge se leke almost in mid of Union City, near the Whipple Road, right? Whipple Road is actually the blockage is going on there. So slow traffic in the place, Baljan. Similarly, something affecting the traffic is the disabled vehicle on 80 eastbound exiting on Gilman Street in Berkeley. This is actually kind of creating a stop and go kind of an effect over there. The traffic is impacted in the region. There are some places where traffic is heavy, but not because of anything else, Banjan, not because of any accident, but of course this is the area of South San Francisco near the on 101 actually, because they know the bypass roads for people to take over there if at all it gets blocked over there. So it's pretty much that's the residual traffic I can call in those areas, Banjan. Pleasanton has reported some accidents, some traffic incidents here and there, but not something which is severe for the traffic as such. Weather-wise, if you look at it, it's going to be nice sunny weather. Upper 65s maximum, and lower I think it'll be 58 kind of a thing. So it's not very cold, it's not very hot, it's like perfect weather. So we're going to have this perfect weather all through the weekend. Probably we'll have some clouds on the starting off Monday, Tuesday probably. And the rest of the week actually seems to be clear. Doesn't seem to be disturbing at all. So the weekend is going to be nice for you guys because already it's Friday. We didn't hear Faltoni sing that song.
It's Friday. It's Friday. It's your day. It's my day. It's Friday.
I know, but then you said no. Altu Baba, it's Aa Bel Mujhe Maar. Yeah, it's Aa Faltu Mujhe Maar. Is what it is. Good Faltu. I didn't
Maar
say.
diya. Yeah.
Okay, Banjan, ye khush ho rahi hai ki she could actually do what she want to do, but not everybody can actually do what they want to do, Banjan. So I think we should understand. And that is very clear with our Biden and our new people who are the president, the vice president. They aren't able to do what they want to do because bipartisan is not happening over there.
No, they're still able to do.
Excuse
They're
me,
still able to
Faltoni.
do,
What Biden wanted was a bipartisan. He's one of those people who
it
actually
doesn't
reaches out
matter
to the
as
aisle.
long as the work gets done.
No,
Doesn't
GOPs
matter.
are still giving them a hard time. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Yes, work gets done because you're forcing it by putting your vice president to come and vote for it and shake the thing.
So that tells you what kind of people are going to obstruct everything, Altu Baba.
Now, that's exactly what I tell Fatwani because our leader, who I think is very nice, I respect him, Biden ji, he wanted to actually have a bipartisan approval on this package. And no, it's not. It's actually, they finally were along party lines only. It's different issues for the people. It is a relief, COVID relief part. That's what I'm actually concerned about and I feel a little bad about it. But anyway, Fatwani, it's good that you're able to do what you want to do. That's nice.
What
But
I was able to do in what way, Altu Baba?
you struck me, right? You don't have to go for a
I
vote
know,
for that.
I always strike you with wonder, don't I? You're like wonderstruck every time you see.
Yes, I am like dumbstruck all sometimes.
What?
Let's go, Bacha. Let's do our thing. Let's go and check out what's happening with the news. Faltoni, let's go jump into news directly because I already gave a bit of headlines of what's happening on that. We really want to know what's happening. Is the COVID coming under control, Faltoni?
Well, Altu Baba, the UK coronavirus variant experts are fretting over may become dominant in the United States because it's more easily spread, says Dr. Anthony Fauci.
Wait. So you're saying the variant is it's cropped up in the UK, possibly will come to US. Fine, but how about the vaccinations people are getting right now? Who are who vaccinated the 1% of the population.
We don't know, but I got news from India that Oxford is saying that the COVID-19 vaccine with AstraZeneca that supposedly works even with the UK variant. The university said the variant first identified in Kent, southern England, is more transmissible, prompting many countries to restrict travel to Britain. It also led to a spike in infections that forced a new national lockdown in England last month. The lockdown came as Britain started rolling out the AstraZeneca vaccine. Over 10 million people have received a first dose of the AstraZeneca or the Pfizer shot. Britain had said it believed that the vaccines were effective against the variants that are circulating in the United States.
Faltoni,
The United Kingdom.
Something actually struck me last night. Right? There have been movies about these kind of pandemic things.
Yeah.
Right? And one of the movies very closely connects to this one, right?
Pandemic?
this particular, a pandemic kind of a thing, right? Is a movie called Maze.
Okay.
Have you? It's a story. It's a book actually. It's a book called Maze, and there was 3 series that guy wrote. I forget the author of the name. The Maze, the Scotch, and there was something called as the something in between. Scotcher was the last one, I suppose. But anyway, the point was they're actually going to make a 4th one also. The whole thing of that is because of a pandemic, actually put people into a particular compound and quarantine them. Yeah, and nobody has a variation. They don't have a cure for the virus.
Oh my God.
So the nature has to come up with a.
Is it called Maze Runner?
That's right, Maze Runner.
The Scotch Trials,
Yes,
that one?
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Scotch Trials is a part 2 of the particular movie. Yeah, but it's very interesting. But if you want to watch it, actually talks about how quickly the virus, which is supposed to be transmitting only through physical contact, suddenly becomes airborne.
Yeah. Well, well, here's the thing, Manjan. If there is another surge in cases as the country tries to speed up a vaccine rollout, Moderna says that they can their vaccine protects you against the new variant. But a federal distribution program aims to help pharmacies administer about 100 million vaccine doses a month at thousands of locations, with delivery of about 1 million doses starting next Thursday to Publix, Walgreens, Walmart and CVS stores. Meanwhile, the FDA will meet February 26 to discuss Johnson & Johnson's request for emergency use authorization of its COVID-19 vaccine. Remember, news came out that Johnson & Johnson's was about 66% effective. It's all a race against time, as a new forecast from an influential model predicts that about more than 630,000 US 19 deaths are going to happen by June 1st. Oh my God. Anyway, the US is also Senate also advanced Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID aid package. Panujan, everybody voted along party lines, and Vice President Kamala Harris had to cast a tie-breaking vote. The US House of Reps approved a budget measure today that would enable Democrats to push President Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief package through Congress without Republican support, in a process that will likely take weeks. This is getting to be really ridiculous, right? The amount of the divide that's there.
Yeah.
And, for those of you who were wondering, we had brought you news about Liz Cheney and also about Taylor Greene, right? Well, Liz Cheney got a show of support from her fellow Republicans and still retains her seniority and her position in the Republican Party.
That was not fair what they were doing for her, because she voted against party lines.
Yeah.
And that's what they were trying to oust her from all the committee issues about. That was not fair. Then what kind of a thing is that? It's a very bad Republican Party. GOP is losing their values.
Wait, but the the U.S. House of Representatives voted to strip Marjorie Taylor Greene of 2 high-profile committee assignments on Thursday, punishing the Republican congresswoman for her incendiary remarks that included support for violence against the Democrats. In a test of unity for a House Republican caucus driven by division, nearly 95% of the Republicans voted to oppose the punishment after Greene expressed regret remarks she made before she entered office, but failed to apologize. 11 Republicans, although, joined the Democrats in a 230 to 199 vote to approve the Democrat-backed resolution, which stripped Greene of her seats on the House Budget Committee and the House Education and Labor Committee. I've never encountered a situation like the one before us now, where a member has made such vile and hurtful comments and statements, engaged in the harassment of colleagues, and expressed support for political violence, House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer said before the vote. So again, she was rebuked and her committee assignments have stripped. U.S. senators are now moving forward and introducing a bill that would limit Section 230. This is a law that shields online companies from liability over content posted by users and makes the companies more accountable when the posts result in harm. Called the Safe Tech Act, the bill would mark the latest effort to make social media companies like Alphabet Inc., Google, Twitter Inc., and Facebook Inc. more accountable for enabling cyber stalking, targeted harassment, and discrimination on their platform. Senator Mark Warner, Mazie Hirono, and Amy Klobuchar said in a statement. In the wake of the Jan 6 storming of the U.S. Capitol in Washington, lawmakers have been studying ways to hold big tech more accountable for the role they played in the spread of disinformation before the riot and about policing content on their platforms. In other news, Banijan, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres reappointed former New York Mayor Mike Bloomberg as a special envoy on climate ambition and solutions on Friday to, quote, mobilize stronger and more ambitious climate action ahead of a global summit in November. Bloomberg was previously the UN Special Envoy for Climate Action between March 2018 and November 2019. He stepped down shortly before announcing his bid for the Democratic US presidential nomination. He, however, dropped out of the race in March 2020. The media mogul will now support Guterres in growing and strengthening a coalition of governments, companies, cities, and businesses committing to net zero emissions by 2050 in line with the goals of the 2015 global climate deal struck in Paris, the United States said. Also, Altibaba, it's so important since we're talking about climate. California's rainy season now is going to start 1 month later than it did decades ago, prolonging the state's destructive wildfire season into November. The American Geophysical Union has said on Thursday. Citing research. The study by researchers at the University of Belgrade in Serbia could not link the change directly to climate change, but said the results are consistent with scientific predictions of drier autumn months and a warming climate. Speaking of California, Altibaba, do you have the coronavirus updates for us?
Yes, I do. In fact, statewide, if you look at it, we've had, I told you, a drop in the increase. Rate of increase. A drop in the rate of increase of coronavirus. 13,000 new cases reported as of yesterday. And unfortunately, death-wise, the number of deaths reported has gone up.
Oh, wow.
The rate of increase of death has gone up by 1.6%. In other words, we had around 700 people who actually succumbed to the virus. In all of California, actually, all of California.
Wow.
Now, it doesn't look very smart, very hunky-dory over here in Santa Clara for sure, because Santa Clara, we've had an increase, the decrease in the increase rate, what do we call it, as 0.4, stayed static actually. Around 400 new cases have cropped up for sure, but the number of deaths of coronavirus in Santa Clara County has risen up to 2.8%. That's around 40 new deaths. People have lost loved ones to this particular pandemic. Similarly, even in the Alameda County is no different. It's still in the range of 0.4 increase. That's around 350 people. New people are reported to actually have the virus. So please stay sheltered in. And the sad part is Alameda County also is reporting, has actually reached the 1,000 deaths, unfortunately, with new additional deaths adding to the total yesterday. Please mask up. Mask is very, very essential. There is scientific proof about it. You will find tons of research on this as to how they can contain the virus. Masking is supposed to be very, very effective, including gloves for the matter. So please mask up, wash your hands, don't sanitize. Wash hands with soap and water if possible, and stay healthy, Bandujan. Eat healthy, stay healthy. Spend time with your family. The endorphins actually will help you fight the virus also.
Yeah, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration is also planning a rapid review process for a quick turnaround of the COVID-19 booster shots if variants of the coronavirus emerge against which the vaccines do not provide protection. The agency's top officials said yesterday. Dr. Janet Woodcock, acting commissioner of the FDA, said that if new variants of the coronavirus emerge that require booster shots or changes to vaccines, the agency will not require the type of large trials that were required for emergency use authorization or approval.
But we spoke about Johnson & Johnson coming up with a one-shot solution, which actually talked about a couple of weeks ago, but right now they have submitted the proposal to FDA already, and they claim that they can actually have the entire I think 100 million doses ready by the mid-year if the approval comes through. So it's going to be a one-shot vaccine, which actually doesn't have to be in 2 doses. Goes into one shot. This is a Johnson & Johnson product, but everything is looking up bright, and there is light at the end of the tunnel. But right now, please mask up. Stay safe.
In some international news, Banjan, excuse me. Berlin, the German government welcomed U.S. President Joe Biden's announcement that his administration will suspend any planned troop withdrawals from Germany in another sign of thawing relations between Washington and Berlin. We've always been convinced that the deployment of American troops in Germany serves European and transatlantic security, Chancellor Angela Merkel spokesman Steven Seibert told a regular news conference on Friday, adding that the decades-long cooperation with the U.S. forces was highly valuable. In news from the tech world, Bandhujan, the United States National Labor Board on Friday denied Amazon.com Inc.'s motion to halt the union election at the company's Bessemer, Alabama warehouse and its request to review the decision to hold the election by mail. The elections will now proceed as scheduled with the mailing of ballots on Feb 8th, which voters must return by March 29th. In other news, the shares of GameStop and other companies caught in the recent social media hype trading frenzy rose again on Friday after online broker Robinhood lifted all the buying curbs imposed at the height of the battle between amateur investors and Wall Street hedge funds. The video game retailer, the initial trigger for the market slugfest, was up 8.4% in U.S. pre-market trading, although the wild gyration seen in the past 2 weeks appeared to have fizzled out. Robinhood, among the fee-free online brokers that are credited with fueling the trade, said late on Thursday it had removed all buying restrictions imposed due to a surge in clearinghouse deposit requirements last week. Also, PayPal Holdings said on Friday that it was cooperating with the U.S. consumer watchdog regarding a civil investigation demand relating to its app Venmo's alleged unauthorized fund transfers and collection processes. The demand from the U.S. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau was made last month, and the digital payment processor said so in a regulatory filing. Many of you know that Venmo is a popular person-to-person payment app in the United States, and it competes with apps like Cash, which is run by Square, and there are supposedly wrongdoings that are happening over there. And in some international news on troubled waters, Bandhujan, China's latest weapon against Taiwan is called a sand dredger.
Wow.
Yeah, Chinese dredging ships are swarming Taiwan's Matsu Islands, forcing the local Coast Guard to run round-the-clock patrols. The tactic is part of being, one of the intimidatory kind of forces of Beijing's escalating campaign of irregular grey zone warfare on Taipei. There is a Reuters exclusive. We will share this on MediaMahima.com. But you were talking about falling COVID-19 cases, Altubaba. In India, it's actually true. On September 16th last year, India reported 97,894 coronavirus cases. Nearly 4.5 months later, on February 2nd, the country has just registered 8,635 new cases. So, the drop in coronavirus numbers assumes significance as several countries across the world are experiencing and in some cases, a third wave of COVID-19 virus. So, people are wondering what they're doing. Why is this happening? There's a whole bunch of things. They're saying good practices, awareness about practices such as washing hands, wearing masks in public places have diligently spread across the country. The climate. There is another theory which suggests that the hot and humid climate of the country proved a bad host for the coronavirus, which requires lower temperatures to thrive. Effective contact tracing. According to a survey conducted in the state of Punjab, it was found that 76% of the patients not infect one single other person, apparently.
Or be that the coronavirus couldn't take competition.
Yeah, it could be that, because that's another thing that they're saying. Pre-existing immunity, because Indians are already exposed to severe diseases such as malaria, typhoid, hepatitis, cholera, etc. Some expats and experts actually speculate that exposure to these diseases in the past may have increased the immunity of the general population.
There you go.
And of course, India is largely a young demography. Most of the population, only 6% of the population is above 65, and more than half the population is below 25. So they're saying that's another thing that is added. And also, Indians supposedly have a higher prevalence of antibodies. So good news on all fronts. Also, Banjan, 4G mobile internet services are now being restored in the entire state of Jammu and Kashmir. That has now gone into effect. And also, Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar said on Friday that opposing the new farm laws and saying that these are black laws are not really describing what is black in these laws.
What?
Yeah, he's saying these farm laws have been dubbed as black laws apparently. But when I ask at every meeting held with these farmers as to what's black about these statutes so that I can fix those black items, nobody has an answer. They're just protesting. Just repeal it. So they're not giving exact details. And if you want to know about the Chakka Jam that's going to be happening today, tomorrow, February 6th
Please
across
check with
India.
Rihanna. No?
Why? She's going to tweet it out?
That's what they're going to do, I suppose.
I have no idea, but we'll have a post on our Media Mahima Banjan. Everything you need to know about the nationwide road blockade in India. So it's almost like a Bharat Bandh. So you can go check it out on Media Mahima. That's all we have time for on this morning's Good Morning Babe. We'll be back tonight live at 5 on the Pam Pam Show. Till then, have yourselves a fantastic Friday.
And of course, Banjan, if you're wondering why India is able to beat the virus, because ye desh hai veer jawanon ka. More than 50% of our population is the Dujan, and that's what we're proud of. But so here's a nice song for everybody out there, and this is from the movie, of course, Naya Daur Banujan. Exactly what's happening. Naya Daur hai hamara. And we always knew because of the human capital we have with India, we're going to be leaders. I didn't know that we're going to become leaders.
देश का यारो क्या कहना ये देश है दुनिया का गहना